Right now on Inside Texoma, we are sitting down with the Skywarn 6 Weather Storm team to talk about everything from severe weather to even our Skywarn 6 Roadshow. And Ken, can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect?
Well, this year's Roadshow features some brand new information. We got new material, new videos. We're talking about severe weather and getting you ready for the upcoming severe weather season. Education is key here, and planning ahead could help save your life.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, of course, what cities are our next stops as far as the Weather Roadshow, new information on how to take proper shelter, and we'll talk about, we're also giving away a NOAA weather radio, so a lot of good stuff to be had there.
Of course, the best thing to also is that the fact that you get to meet all of us who are giving you all of our forecasts here every single day. It's a very important thing to meet the person. I know I like to say this, to meet the person that's giving you the forecast that may potentially save your life.
That's all coming up this Sunday morning on Inside Texoma. They are also going to share some severe weather safety tips, even tell you how you can make a kit at home with the things that you already have around the house to help prepare you if a storm should strike. It all starts right now on Inside Texoma. Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley FITZWATER. Thanks for joining us for another look inside Texoma. This morning, we're sitting down with the Skywarn 6 Storm team to bring you life-saving information, not only on our roadshow coverage that we'll be heading to each and every town, but also taking a look at some severe weather safety tips and even how to prepare a kit at home at no cost with just things lying around your house. Joining me now to talk about more is Skywarn 6 Certified Broadcast Chief Meteorologist Ken Johnson, Skywarn 6 Forecaster John Cameron, and Skywarn 6 Meteorologist Matt Posguy. Now, I know all three of you are very busy, so we appreciate you all taking time to sit down with us and really give us an inside look behind, the roadshow. And let's just get right into it this morning. How does the roadshow really benefit viewers?
Well, the Roadshow really benefits viewers because we get to take our weather to them in the public, and what the whole purpose of doing it is to educate the public. We take this facts, we take the information, we take it to them, and we present it in a form of a show. It's very interesting. We have a really cool video that we show of a lot of tornadoes, a lot of good informative videos, a lot of good safety points. And believe it or not, Ashley, there are viewers that don't know little things, like the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. They don't know what to do if a tornado warning is issued. They have not a clue. This show gives them that information. We share with them information that can hopefully help save their lives if a tornado ever threatens them or their families. And it's just a good, informative, a lot of education that's given, and it's a lot of fun because the viewers get a chance to ask us questions that they otherwise don't get a chance to.
I love that because you're right. Here in Texoma, growing up here, it's crazy weather. I mean, one week it's snowing, one week it's raining, it's hot, shorts, pants, it's just never the same, it seems. So, and of course, the storms play a big part in that. So, John, how beneficial do you feel it is to the viewers?
Well, actually, I think it's the very best thing we can do. We can go out and engage the viewers one-on-one and provide them with information that would help to perhaps save them their lives if they were in a life-threatening weather situation. We know those come around from time to time here in Texoma. Another thing that's very compelling and something that's very important is we're also able to dispel myths. There's still a lot of myths out there where folks may actually do the wrong thing if they're taking shelter from a violent storm. So the ability to dispel myths and the ability to interact and engage the viewers one-on-one, I think it's very important.
John, to add to that, one myth that we get, a lot of people ask this question at every roadshow that we come to. Does the Red River really have an impact on storms and tornadoes? I've heard all my life that as a storm approaches the river, they're going to dissipate and go away. And I can tell you right now that the Red River has absolutely nothing to do with that.
So that's something to keep in mind. We're close to it, and unfortunately, we are in that threat zone as well. So we have to take them all very seriously. Matt, you've been taking part of this since you got started as well. So what do you find to be most beneficial about it?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, do you really know somebody until after you've physically met them? You can see us on television all the time talking about the weather, talking about this and that, but you know, sometimes we connect with the viewers through Facebook, through Twitter, and that sort of thing, but you don't really know somebody, and I don't think you really can trust somebody until you've met them. When you get a chance to meet one of us, I'm not saying that it's going to be, you know, harmony and utopia or anything like that, but it's going to, you're going to know who you're talking to and who's giving you the weather. And that's very important, knowing who you're dealing with, who's somebody that you're going to be basing your safety and livelihood on in terms of forecasting severe weather. I mean, you want to know who they are as a person. You know, we try to make public appearances and that sort of thing, and this is one of the best ways to do it because not only do we present severe weather to you, which is our prime reason for being here, but also we get to talk to you after the road show's over.
Would you say it even goes the other way as well? I mean, when you're forecasting now, when you say Graham, you're thinking of the people that you've met in Graham. I mean, there's a face now even on the name on the map as well for maybe each of you after you go out there and meet them and get to know the people in that community.
Yeah, definitely, especially over towards Vernon. I'd say our largest turnout we've had so far is in Vernon. We have a lot of viewers over there, a lot of fans over there. So we go to Vernon and, you know, we talk to these people and they say, yeah, we watch you all the time. You're the only people that we trust when it comes to weather. So, yeah, I mean, you think about those people when you're up there saying, okay, Vernon, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. So you think about those people that you meet.
Absolutely. And I think that's awesome because, you know, it is such an important job and one that, you know, can save so many lives, especially like we've mentioned here in this area where we just seem to have threat after threat, whether it's, you know, storms or even, unfortunately, it seems winter situations here recently. So, you know, also sticking with the road show, there's a lot of new things. If people have gone before, maybe last year they tried it out, there's new reasons to come back, right?
We try to change this up as much as we can. You know, of course, the bottom line, the main topic never changes, and that's severe weather and severe weather safety. And that's something that's not going to change. But we try to come up with new video, new stories to tell. We have new slideshows, new graphics. This year, a lot of our stuff is based off of the deadly historic tornado season we saw in 2011. Not here in Texoma, but other parts of the country saw just an awful tornado season. They did a lot of research on that last season, a lot of new information, so we're able to give you that information. Some of the stories that we did, is your house safe? If you don't have a tornado shelter, is there a safe place in your house? New information suggests maybe not. If there are these big violent tornadoes, you may not have a safe place unless you're underground or you're in one of those above ground shelters. So that's something new. John's done a nice piece this year on ignoring warnings, how social media is taking place this year and recently, and helping to get the warning and the information out there. So some really, really great stuff at this year's Weather Roadshow.
John, you know, he mentioned a little bit about the story that you're doing. Has the research, do you think it also helps each one of you grow, you know, and just be able to predict the weather and translate that even better?
Absolutely. You know, the field of meteorology, the science, the technology is getting better, almost seems like on a weekly basis. So we have to do our very best to try to kind of stay ahead of the storm, as it were, as far as the technology and the science. And that comes down to the viewer, and be able to pass that along and try to provide them with the best, most up-to-date information available.
Absolutely. We have much more to get to. We need to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll be right back with more Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. I am joined with our Skywarn 6 Storm team, and just before the break we were talking about all of the new things at the Skywarn 6 Weather Roadshow this year. One of those, all the research that you guys have put in this year for the stories that are presented to the viewers as they come on out. And Matt, you know, can you just start by telling us a little bit about the story that you're going to be presenting?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, at the road show, we cover a lot of stories about severe weather. What I did a story on, featured during Storm Week, and it was called, it was about dry lightning. Essentially, that is a lot of times during the spring season, especially in a year like we had last year, in the midst of a severe drought, can be a really bad problem. When you have a dry line coming through and you have a couple of thunderstorms popping up right along and ahead of that, you'll end up with the drier part of that thunderstorm creating lightning, creating wildfires sparked by that lightning, and no rain to douse the fire. And then you've got the dry line, you've got the dry, gusty winds coming in out of the west, similar to when we had the blowing dust, you know, a little bit of a while ago. And that just aggravates the entire situation. And it's severe weather related, but it's just something that's, you know, people don't tend to think about when it comes to severe weather. They think about tornadoes, they think about hail, you know, they think about blizzards is what we've had lately. And not this winter, but, you know, the last couple of winters we've had that. And that tends to be an ongoing ongoing problem. I know last year we had a couple of people even working at the station who had lightning-sparked wildfires and big problems with that in regards to the drought. So that's one of the things I'll be presenting here. Last year I was covering wildfires in general and also the 64 tornado that went through Shepherd Air Force Base. So that story is what I covered last year.
So really staying on top of, though, what's important and what's impacting our area as we speak.
Right now.
Yeah, and I did a story that certainly has a direct connection to Texoma and Wichita Falls. You know, the Wichita Falls tornado of April 10, '79, still one of the most devastating tornado events in American history. It killed 45 people. It displaced 20,000 people. It left one of the largest samples of F4 damage in history, and you know, we've raised a generation of Texomans that may not have a true appreciation for what a violent storm can do. You basically have to be about 40 years old plus to even have a recollection of that event, to have seen the damage firsthand. So my fear is that, you know, we have had thousands of severe thunderstorm warnings. We've had hundreds, probably more, hundreds of tornado warnings. Where we've had the storm, we may have had the tornado, but perhaps we haven't had just a devastating weather event that has taken lives. So we start to maybe become a little bit complacent, and folks start to think, well, geez, it just seems never to happen here. And that was the same attitude that the good folks of Joplin, Missouri had last year, prior to the most devastating single tornado event in American history, killed nearly 160 people. And this, of course, takes place at a time where, in a place rather, where people are very savvy about this threat of severe weather. They had sirens, they had ample warnings, they had, you know, quick action media and National Weather Service that were not preventing, but helping people stay aware of the storms, and yet we have 160 people killed. So the question becomes, you know, do we have folks that could perhaps be a little complacent when warnings are advised? So it's a very compelling story, and I learned a lot. I was actually able to talk. I was actually able to speak, interview with the emergency management coordinator for the city of Joplin. And if anyone can testify why you need to pay attention to those warnings, it's that gentleman.
Oh, definitely him. Yeah. What about you, Ken?
Well, I got a chance to talk to this storm chaser. He had a television show by the name of Storm Chasers on, I guess I can say it, the Discovery Channel, by the name of Reed Timmer. He built a armored storm chase vehicle, and it has all the bells and whistles on it, a lot of different measurements, radars, parachutes that he can shoot into storms, and he actually drives it into these tornadoes, and he takes these measurements. So he has some incredible video, and that's one of the pieces that we got a chance to sit down and actually talk to him when he was here in Wichita Falls a few weeks ago at Midwestern State University speaking for their artist lecture series. That's one of the pieces that we run. Another one which I feel is very, very important, again, as I said a moment ago, was the fact that is it safe if these violent tornadoes threatening your area, EF4, EF5s, and you don't have a below-ground storm shelter or an above-ground safe room. Unfortunately, the research showed from last year and from previous years that in these big tornadoes, we're talking about winds of 150 miles per hour or greater, your house just is not going to withstand those. In some cases, it's going to be picked up and lifted off the foundation, and there's going to be nothing left. So if you're not below ground or in a safe room, the chances of survival are greatly, greatly reduced. So what do we do if we don't have one of those? Well, there are some things that we can do to stay safe. The same tornado safety rules we give you in general work in most tornado safety tornado situations. Center of your house, lowest level, out of those mobile homes. And one thing that we have found that might be a lifesaver is finding ways to protect your head. Baseball, football, motorcycle helmets are good ways. There's been stories that of survivors in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Joplin, Missouri, of people wearing these helmets that actually survived because the debris that was flying around their homes hit these helmets and protected their heads.
Wow. That is great advice, and you know, something most everyone possibly even has in their home, and you know, if their kids play sports, they probably have one too, so you know, something just to keep handy for everyone to put on.
Yes,
so, well, we appreciate you all sharing about the road show. There's of course several shows left. You know, maybe you can just name a few of those locations left before we take another quick break.
John, you know what they are?
Yes, we got Holiday coming up March 8th. These are all on Thursdays, by the way. We've Coming to Bowie, March 15th, Electra, March 22nd, and we're going to finish the show here in Wichita Falls at Washington Jackson Elementary. That's March 29th.
All right. Well, for another look, of course, at that list, you can always head to our website, newschannel6now.com. While you're there, you can also watch each story that the meteorologist did. It's all available for you at newschannel6now.com. We are not done talking with our Skywarn 6 storm team. We have so much more to get to, including some tips on how to prepare a severe weather safety kit. It's all coming up on Inside Texoma. Stay with us.